Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NotBland Show, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. And today we got a really cool show. We're going to talk a little NFL in the front half, talk about some big things that are going on within the league. It's only week 2, but the action's been pretty great. If you have been keeping up with it on the backside, we're going to talk about the NHRA week 1 playoffs as we head into week 2 of the playoff series. Want to thank Everything Nitro, of course, Sports Journey, and our affiliate, Virginia Talk Radio Network. They are powered by ESPN Radio. You can listen to them on 93.3 FM and 1320 AM in Lynchburg, Virginia. And they cover the Washington Commanders, your Liberty, a lot of NASCAR as well. We will put up the shows when we go to our first break and let you know what they have on the docket there. I want to thank them for being affiliate of us at Sports Journey. And you can find our podcast there, our audio podcast of this show and other shows that we have on the Sports Journey Network over there on the VTRN network page. Okay? Sounds good? Good. Well, we are going to have on Wole, who is the host of the Urban Sports Scene. He also does Burgundy and Gold everything. And we're going to talk a little bit of NFL. It's been a cool, interesting year so far for 2 weeks of the regular season. A lot of injuries, though, man. A lot of injuries out of the gate for some teams. You know, you got Joe Burrow out with that turf toe. If you were able to catch the NFL Live, they did a really good breakdown, or was it the Sports Center afterwards? They did a really good breakdown of the how that is possible and what a turf toe really is. Bucks win. Bucks, their offense has stayed pretty much the same. I really, really like a guy I drafted in my Dynasty League and had my eyeballs on, but Emeka Ibaka has been a touchdown machine for them. He's got 3 on the year, 13 targets, 8 receptions for 96 yards, and 3 tutties. You're not going to complain about that, that's for sure. But Baker is Baker, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too, Memphis. Lonnie, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, look, those guys over there are playing some real ball, and they pretty much have picked up right where they left off last year, if I'm going to be honest. And we've got Wole in the building, and we're going to bring him in.
Whew.
What's going on, my brother?
Oh man, 95, I tell you. What's going on, boss?
What's going on, man? Man, I don't miss that traffic. I'm going to tell you that right
man,
now.
it's called rain. Once a drop of rain hits this area, it slows everything down, man. It's just everything. It's just when the rain hit, it's a whole different beast, man. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Yeah, man. It's been a quite interesting start to the season. Only 2 weeks in. It seems like we were 4 weeks in to this regular season with all the action going on. But right out of the gate, man, like this man here,
that's wild,
is out with a turf toe.
Yeah,
that's a big loss for them. I thought Browning did a pretty decent job, batting second and coming in and cleaning up for him. I feel like the Jags left a lot on the table, really should have won that game.
Yeah,
but how much does this affect this football team with Joe Burrow being out of here?
Affects him a lot, man. You got one of the best arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. I can do whatever you lie with that, but he's in the argument. It's tremendous. Like when you have a guy like that in the building, you feel like you win any game. Browning played a good game, but it's not Joe Burrow a type of game. He was turning the football over. So now you got to go into game planning for that in the upcoming weeks to know that all right, Joe Burrow, who's pretty safe with the football, a guy who's pretty accurate. Now you may have a quarterback out there who can turn the football over. But I will say this for Browning, that the Bengals have one of the best wide receiving units in all of the NFL.
Yeah.
So that can kind of that can win them some games. Don't get me wrong. I think they're still going to compete. They'll still be able to beat some of the good NFL teams out there, but just it's not the same. We're talking about can they still be a playoff team? Yes, I believe they can still be a playoff team. With the talent they do have on that offensive side of football, they're stacked offensively, right? But I mean, in terms of Super Bowl chances and how that hinders their Super Bowl chances, it hinders them a lot. Burrow can come back and towards the end of the season, but that's also depending on if Browning can hold the fort down to make for them to still be a playoff team. And
Yeah.
in a division, it's pretty tough. You got the Ravens and the Steelers in that division. You know what I mean? So we'll see, but it's definitely a big hit, especially for a team that had not just playoff aspirations, but they thought they were good enough to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely did. It looks like their defensive problems are slightly fixed. They have some complications,
Some.
but
Some.
it's not complete. It's
It's
definitely
not
not
completely
complete.
fixed. It's not
Yeah,
completely fixed. They
definitely not
like
complete.
Jacksonville left a lot. To your point, they left a lot on the table. So I'm not going to come out and say they played the Browns in Week 1. So I'm not going to come out and say that their defense is solved. I feel like we'll
Right,
see. We'll see when they play like the Steelers, the Ravens, and we'll see how they hold up.
right. I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills here, and
Dynamic.
I'm telling you, when you look at this team, and you look at this team on the when you're looking at the next gen stats for the
Uh-huh.
team, they are number one. They are the most balanced football team at 75 passes, 74 runs. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's damn near perfect of what you want to have as an offense as far as balance. But they
Uh-huh.
really do have a lot of explosive pieces to this thing. Are the Ravens still in trouble with this football team?
The Ravens in trouble with the Bills. It's hard to say. I mean, you lose. I mean, you dominated most of that. They dominated most of that game, and the Sunday night game. They dominated
Yeah,
most of that game, other than like the last 5 minutes. And that was because like Derrick Henry fumbled, and that's on the road. So I don't know if they're in trouble because you lost to a team that you should have beat in their own
I
ball
agree.
in their own stadium. So in the neutral in the stadium, like say it's the state not neutral, but they played in Baltimore. I think Baltimore probably blows them out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like it's an interesting situation. I will say this: they're in trouble if they have to play if they have to travel to Buffalo again. I do believe that. If they can find a way to host the playoff game between those two. I think they would be they would Lamar Jackson and the Buffalo and the Baltimore Ravens would beat Buffalo. Now that's not again, but now if you're telling me who's playing like the best football, at this point in time, I'm gonna probably go with the Buffalo Bills or the Green Bay Packers. Those are the two teams to me that have stood out in terms of playing excellent football.
I agree with you. I know a lot was said by a lot of the Washington fans about that particular game and how they performed. But I
Hmm.
thought once you added Micah Parsons to this thing,
Yeah.
already had four linebackers before him that were good. They
Hmm.
played extremely well, and I'd also believe that there's a lot of game planning that I felt like they kind of were very vanilla with and kind of
Yeah.
helped the defense a little bit, but they had a good defense coming in here, and then you're on the road. It kind of all added up to not being good for the Washington Commanders, and I really didn't pick them to win this game anyway.
Mm. I mean, I picked them. I mean, I've garnered a lot. I mean, I've gained a lot of respect for the Packers after this game. So it's like, what they did to. I watched the Detroit game. What they did to Detroit I wasn't super impressed with it, but
Yeah,
looking at it in hindsight, what Detroit just did to Chicago, I guess I should have been super impressed with it. Um, but like the I mean anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of Michael Parsons. Even though he was with the Cowboys, I know the talent. The talent is amazing to me.
right.
Um, I knew it was a problem, but I didn't know it was gonna be this big of a problem. And we
Yeah,
haven't even gotten Micah at what he's going to be. Like he's gonna be better in this system in like 3 more weeks. You know what I mean? Like this is not even Micah in camp with this team. You know what I mean? Like this is
yeah,
wild that he can have this type of impact and not really be entrenched in this defense. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what to do, some of the versatility some of the stuff they can do with him once he knows the whole defense, right?
yeah.
So. that's where I'm at with like the Packers. The Packers are obviously a talented team. Jordan Love, one of the better young quarterbacks, a really good wide receiver core. Got a good running game. I mean, I'm not like get at me in December. 'Cause I'm not super sold on the Packers,
Yeah,
but I get it. Like right now, at this point in time, they're playing the best football. Like I get it. Like
yeah,
I'm not going to take that away from them. Right now, I'm telling you, the Packers are playing the best football. Them and the Bills are playing the best football in at this moment. But it's two
yeah,
games in.
yeah,
That could change. You know what I'm saying? Like a
yeah,
couple years ago, I felt like the Tampa Bay Bucks were the best team in the first 2 weeks. I mean, like last year, excuse me. I thought the Tampa Bay Bucks were the best team
yeah,
in football. You know what I mean? And they're playing solid football too. I would say like the way they're playing Tampa. I'm using and I see somebody saying Buck wins in the chat.
yeah.
Uh, I would say like Tampa, they I would say they could be scary down the road because I feel like they're winning games like they're winning close games. And with last year they were a little more dominant earlier. They're winning close games now. So I feel like they're getting that like that bravado, that moxie, and I feel
Hmm.
like towards the end they may be a problem because now they're showing consistency in terms of being a perennial playoff contender or playoff team. And I feel like now they got to a point where like they're not sneaking up on anybody. They're just playing really good football. So I think they're a scary team as well. But in terms of who's playing the best football, like Packers and the Bills by far, to me by far.
Yeah, I like that. Talk to me at the end of the season because we
Yeah.
really don't know what Jordan Love really is yet. He hasn't
Yes.
consistently shown us who he really is.
Agreed.
So if he can play up to that level that he's played up to in the first 2 weeks through an entire season, then yeah, then we can carry that on through.
Mm-hmm.
I like this guy here, man. Uh, Ebike Ibaka, this
Yeah. He's
dude right
Nigerian.
here, bro. 3 touchdowns in the first 2 games.
Uh-huh.
He has really been a real wild card for them in this offense, and we hadn't even really seen Mike Evans hadn't gotten going yet.
Not at
Chris
all.
Godwin hasn't gotten going yet. They can be a scary football team. I also like the Atlanta Falcons, but defensively they don't play consistent enough. Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
does, and I think you have to look at this team in the South there as the best team in the South.
Yeah, I think the Bucks have been consistently the best team in the South for the last couple of years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now like I mean, shout out to the man to Todd Bowles, Bozeman. I think it's Bozeman, right? Am I tripping?
Top Bowls.
Yeah, but Todd Bowles. Sorry, Bowles. I'm thinking about it. Morgan State. I'm you talking about
Yeah,
HBCU. I'm talking about the Morgan State coach. Todd Bowles. Shout out to Todd Bowles. Because like what he's done, you know what I'm saying, taking over, the helm and become from who was the Super Bowl coach? What was his name again? Who used to coach for the Steelers?
Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians, thank you. Bruce Arians taking over for Bruce Arians and still be able to keep this thing afloat. Tom Brady's gone and now doing it with Baker Mayfield and like just to continue to have this type of success and have an identity. I love his defensive identity.
Yeah,
They play with his toughness. They play reckless. Let's say like they play intelligently reckless. I'll put it that way.
yeah.
And I love it. And I love that mentality. And then just the weapons that he has, like you mentioned, like old boy from Ohio State, man. One thing about Ohio State, man, they'll give you a receiver, bro.
You
They give
got
you a
that
receiver.
right.
Now they give you receivers. You know what I'm
You got
saying
that right.
Emeka is one of them.
Yep.
Emeka is one of them, and he's a talented kid. He's talented route runner. Like when they drafted him, I was like, dang, why? Like, I mean, but obviously, you got because the injury of Godwin. It's
Mm-hmm.
Goodwin or Godwin? It's Godwin,
Godwin.
right? Godwin,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The injury of Godwin. So obviously, they drafted him because of that. And Mike Evans ain't a spring chicken, but Mike Evans can still play football at the highest level at wide receiver. So
Yeah.
to your point, Mike Evans ain't even going yet. They're not even force feeding Mike
No.
Evans. That's how much of a problem they are. And good, don't forget about Bucky Irvin. Like
Yeah. Good God.
Bucky Irvin is trying to be one of them. Like he is
Exactly.
trying to be one of them running backs that we talk about. Like
Yes.
obviously, when we talk about Derrick Henry, we talk about Saquon Barkley. Those are two different dudes, right? Right. Like, but Bucky trying to be close.
He
You know
is.
what I mean?
He
Bucky's
really
trying to
is.
be close. So that's what I mean. They're a very dangerous team. I think we all like talk about certain teams going, who can contend, who can win, who can compete with the Eagles in the NFC and and they're picking up all these teams, but like low key, Tampa's scary. I don't know if a
Mm-hmm.
lot of teams want to play Tampa. Tampa's very scary.
Yeah. Since you brought this up, Ty, I think the Panthers are just right now they're in the wrong time space continuum. They've got a
Mm-hmm.
young football team. They got a lot of good pieces. I think they still have a coach that I believe that's just still trying to learn
Yeah,
how
I
how
like him
to.
though. I
Yeah,
like
I
him
like
though.
him a lot. I
I
think he's
like
still
him.
trying to learn how to call a game in situational football. But I do believe that they have a team that can compete and will compete and will be something as time goes on. I don't think they're a bad football team. I just think
Mm-hmm.
they're young and everybody around them has already, you know what I mean? They're already established. They already
Mm-hmm.
have what they need and are moving in that direction and have been, especially Atlanta and Tampa Bay. So I just think they're in a bad spot right now,
Mm-hmm.
but they will get there as a football team just on
I,
talent and coaching.
I think their offense is about to click for real. I think Bryce is starting to after I watched the Arizona game and its
Mm-hmm.
totality, and it's the offense is close. Like
Yep.
I will say it's very close. They did a great job in drafting a receiver, McMillan, like McMillan, right?
Yeah.
And he is a talented dude. Like so, they're close. Like just yeah, they're like the O lines can be a little stronger, and the defense can be a little bit more stubborn. They're trying to be a little bit more stubborn. Once they get I feel like once they get the defensive pieces, I feel like you're gonna see Carolina, kind of turn the corner.
Yeah. I think so too. Uh, in our home state and home area, the Washington Commanders announced that this man, Jaden
Mhm.
Daniels, is nursing a little bit of an injury here. Uh,
Okay.
didn't say how serious it was. First of all, how concerned are you, and do you see him playing against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday?
I mean, I think we should because I thought he was hurt when I saw the hit. I mean, saw his the way his knee bent.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought he was hurt. Mean, I could tell by his mannerisms that he was hurt. But I was kind of annoyed that he came back in the game and trying to finish the drive. I was like what? I mean, this game is already over. I don't know
Yeah,
why he's
for
finishing the drive for what? What is it like? Toughness, bravado, like that's nothing in this grand scheme of things of what this team's trying to do.
exactly.
So like I was kind of annoyed in that situation. But if it is a sprained knee, and depending on if it's not feeling good, it probably isn't. Like he shouldn't be playing.
Right.
I mean,
I
at the end of
agree.
the day, like we can talk about whatever. I've had knee injuries. I know what a sprained knee is. A sprained knee is basically like you're looking at like possible ligament damage. So if any other hit can put it in a bad situation, so why even try it? Like
Exactly.
you can blow it out now. Like it may not be like you can blow out said potential ligament,
Right.
and we don't
Yeah.
know what that ligament is. Like you can blow it out. So
Right.
why would you even chance it, knowing that like you do like and in Jaden's case, his legs are part of his weapon. If his legs are part of his superpower. Like and it
Yeah.
is, and it's a big part of his superpower to be real with you. And especially if you watch these last two games, like Jaden isn't in his rhythm right now. Like we
No.
can all see it. Like it's not a knock, but he's not in his rhythm. So you're gonna lose an element of what has helped him, like kind of navigate through not having his rhythm.
Yeah.
That's gonna be limited to, and he's already gonna be rusty. I'd rather him sit and get healthy, and then you'll get the best version of Jaden Daniels. Right
Right.
now, it's not the best. You like where he's at now isn't where you want Jaden to play at. Like he was playing for now, he was throwing the football at a high level, wasn't holding the football, letting it
Yeah.
rip, do all these other things. Then I would say, yeah, play Jaden, but he's not at that level right now. He's not there yet, and I'm not, and he will be there. So I want folks, fans, to understand that, like he will get there. I'm just
Right.
saying he's not there yet. So why chance it? Because if you continue to hold the ball, you're gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
So why just how about get healthy first?
Yeah.
And then you can be Jaden. You can get away and maneuver through all that.
I'm going to say that was a hip drop tackle that they did not call to.
Yeah, yeah. That was
That
it.
was
They
a
did.
hip.
They
That was
dragged.
a
Yeah, they dragged
textbook
him.
hip drop tackle that was not called.
They dragged him.
I'm not okay with that.
They dragged him. They
And I've
dragged him.
seen that. I saw
Mhm.
that a couple times during this week 2 as well. I believe last night's game. I believe it was the Bucks game. It was a low tackle below the knee to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he had one too.
He
Oh, they
guy
were
fell.
dirty. Yeah.
The guy fell, but
Oh.
still, we've called that when guys are straight on.
Oh.
He hit him from the side, and he was way below his knee. That wasn't good.
I mean, you might only saw. I mean, this wasn't the same tackle, but it was still dirty. You watched the Chargers and Raiders game, and
Yes.
they do try to take out Herbert. Like he really tried to take him out. Like that was dirty. Luckily, it wasn't like he missed completely the way he wanted to hit him, but he was trying.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised. I would have like kicked dude out the game because he had intent. Like he had true intent.
Yeah. And Ben, since you bring him up, you know, this guy has a coach that understands his superpowers and strengths, and put him in the position to be able to make plays. Are we going to be able to finally start calling Justin Herbert a top 10 quarterback or better?
Man, I call Justin Herbert a top 10 quarterback, and I ignore the haters. Like I feel like people, y'all know when you see it, you know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, has he has come short a few times? Yes, he's come short. But last year under my guy Jim Harbaugh, he loves playing a certain way, and last year he didn't like let Justin Herbert be Justin Herbert, and that was and folks try to get on Justin Herbert for that, and everybody knows I love Jim Harbaugh. It's like he's my favorite coach.
Yeah. Man.
But like now he's letting Justin Herbert be the Justin Herbert we saw prior to Jim Harbaugh, and then you brought back Keenan Allen. It's gonna make life easy for him, and you got McConkey, and you got and then now the young boy Johnson finally I said this not to be funny. If folks know I'm a Michigan fan. If anybody doesn't know, if anybody doesn't know what Johnson brings to the table, guarantee Jim Harbaugh knows what Johnson brings to the table.
Exactly.
Why? Because he did that to us in the bowl in the playoffs. He fried us in the playoffs. So I know Jim Harbaugh's like, nah, I seen you. I know what you could do. And now you're getting to see that young man play at a high level. Like 3 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season. The big 60-yard touchdown reception. Justin Herbert looks really good. I know some of these folks, like these pundits out there, try to trash and fry Justin Herbert. I want them to go ahead and eat crow because y'all know he looks really good.
He looks good.
He looks elite. You said top 10. He looks like top 5 to be real.
Yeah.
He looks like an MVP-ish type of candidate. Now he's not like throwing the ball like 100 times like some of these other dudes are, but he's been very efficient. He looks more mobile. He looks like the Justin Herbert that after his rookie year, folks were saying like, oh, he about to beat one of them, and he's beat Pat Mahomes, he's beat divisional teams already. He's on his way.
Yeah, he's on his way. I like.
Nah, he's still if man. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, I think he's starting to play and being able to play like we know he's capable of doing. And now he's got some guys that actually will catch the ball outside of being stuck throwing at the lad McConkey the whole entire time.
And he got an offensive line dude. He got an offensive line now too. So.
Yes, and I really like what I'm seeing out of the backfield as well. I think they are in a position right now to take that division. I think Kansas City is going to take a step back, and I think this is the thing, though. This is why, because they have held on to some people too long. They're getting old in the tooth on the offensive side of the ball, and now you got 2 injuries. You didn't prepare for that, so now you've got guys that you really were probably going to use it in the slot only. Now they're having to play ball. And they can step up here and there, but they're just not those guys. And because you didn't prepare at running back either. You don't have that good punch.
They don't.
You got one tight end.
Yeah.
You got one tight end that can catch. Everybody else is an iffy, and they're mainly blocking tight ends. So your offense is limited. And now it's just Pat Mahomes. Nothing. We ain't got nothing. Just run around and hopefully you don't get sacked and somebody comes open.
Yeah, and I will say this too. Even him, it's tough to say. I see regression. I've seen the last couple of years though with Pat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
his accuracy ain't there.
Everything ain't the same. It ain't the same right now. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing too. It's like you got guys now. You got dudes who try to take their game to the next level. You got dudes like because Pat Mahomes. I know the Eagles dominated, but Pat Mahomes' old superpower was it didn't matter.
Exactly.
That's what his old superpower didn't matter. That it does matter now.
Yeah, big
It
time.
matters. It matters now.
Big
It
time.
matters now. But like to your point, they didn't do enough. I mean, I think they got enough like wide receivers. They got a lot of speed guys, right? Like I like Hollywood Brown. The two injuries that you said, like the injuries, like Worthy that hurt.
Yeah.
Rice going through his situation.
Yep.
But like again, you still got like you got look, old Pat Mahomes. They went like he didn't have everybody all the time.
He didn't.
You know what I mean? And looking at you said like what you're saying, yeah, they're gonna need better now with where he's at now. They're gonna need better talent though. Like you just can't now rely on Pat Mahomes to be Pat Mahomes because I think those days are kind of over. I'm gonna be real with you. I think those days are over.
Yeah.
You're going to need to have dudes with him, like real legit dudes. It's almost like how like eventually it got to a point where like Tom Brady like needed like when they got Randy Moss or whatever like he needed to get a dude like you know what I mean like eventually you need to get a dude and eventually I think Pat Mahomes not to say and then Tom Brady eventually reverted back to being Tom Brady but I'm just saying like at that point in time he needed a dude you know what I mean I think Pat needs a dude.
Yeah, I think so too. Then otherwise, I think it's just going to be a tough sled. And I need Travis Kelce to be a little bit more focused. A lot of movies, you got booty cheeks on your mind. You're going to have to start getting involved in. You got to start getting focused on game day. You know what I mean? Leave the cheeks where they are for at least 60 minutes.
Look, man, it's the money cheeks, bro. That's the problem. It make too much.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Now he got to a point where like it was cool. Like if you need some cheeks, I like that's cool. I'm not even like the problem is like he don't need football no more because she make way more. It's like
exactly.
That's the problem. The problem is like he had like regular money cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's a different level.
Yeah,
it's a different level. You got
a whole nother level here.
Like now it's like, hey man, I don't even feel like getting up. Like that type of stuff. Like, I ain't gotta go to practice. She getting paid, man. I don't go to that's the problem, man. That's the real problem.
It's a problem.
Travis got to snap out of it. He lost the passion. I don't care. I don't need that. I don't care about that fake yelling on the sideline, bro.
Me neither. That's what's our guy that left?
I call it.
What's that guy that at our left that left us left the Washington Commanders with that fake yelling he did?
Oh, you talk about Jonathan Allen?
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. That's that Jonathan Allen stuff.
That's worth of Jonathan Allen. That man yelling at players for real. Jonathan Allen doesn't do it in the locker room. This dude yelling at players on the field, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
You ain't slick. I know dude. You ain't worried about that stuff. You looking at the skybox. Taylor right there. She right there. My money right there. My money. Right there.
This game over yet?
This game over yet? He ain't worried about. I bet you he on some paparazzi thing right after the game with her on the hip,
taking photos.
I am not whatever.
Before I let you get out of here,
no problem, man. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. If you need me, but yeah, whatever.
Tom Brady.
What about him?
Is that a conflict of interest with him being in the booth of the team that he has ownership in? And being in the box as a commentator.
I mean, they don't let him in. The NFL doesn't let him because he's an owner. They don't allow him to do certain things anyway, so he can't see certain things. So I don't think it's a conflict of interest. They've already kind of he doesn't get the same access as other other guys in the booth. He doesn't. They said that already, so I don't see the big deal.
Yeah.
And people want to keep saying it, but they said, you know what? Since you're an owner, we're not giving you access to some of the stuff that we would give other individuals. So I don't think it's a conflict of interest, unless him and the NFL are in collusion. That's the only thing I would
exactly.
And if I'm real talk, if I'm the opposition, I'm not giving him access to my team anyway.
Hell no.
Like I don't want Tom.
He like Tony Romo. He talked too much.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be like, nah, you can't visit us. We're busy. No, I mean, like if Washington, like if he comes down, like we're playing, like Washington's playing the Raiders next. If he comes and talks, if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm like, no, Tony Romo's not invited to practice.
Heck no.
I'm gonna say no. Like that's a fact. I'm gonna say no.
He gonna tell everything.
Yeah,
he gonna call you all of your plays out.
Yeah, he gonna snitch. Why would I do that? That's just like no. Like I'm gonna say no. Like I get it. Like again, that's not like, and you be irresponsible as your coach. If I know like, oh, we're gonna play his squad.
Yeah,
I'll be like, no, you ain't coming to my practice. You better sit your butt back home. You better find Giselle or something. You ain't
for
gonna be over
real.
here.
Get up out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah.
He said yesterday's, but to be honest, the Raiders suck so bad I don't really care at this point.
The Raiders are 1-1, man. Raiders are 1-1. Like Raiders got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is an amazing
Yeah, he's
coach.
an amazing
So I
coach. He's
don't
an amazing coach.
like what happened with the Chargers. This is different. Like the Chargers, I think are a better team.
Yeah.
But I do think the Raiders are better than they were last year. Like by
You
far.
don't think Gino is taking a step back? That was just he's playing a better team and was
Oh
trying
no,
to
the
make some
Chargers
things
roughed
happen.
him up, man. He was playing stupid. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody knows I love Gino, but like he was
yeah.
playing stupid. He ain't
That was
played like he
old
played.
Gino.
Yeah, that was old Gino. I think Pete Carroll get him back. One thing I like about Pete Carroll, he is still his confidence. Because his first game was fine. I
Yeah,
don't think the thing about the Raiders, I don't think they have for Gino, if he wants to survive, he's gonna have to play a certain smarter style though, because the Raiders don't have like dogs at wide receiver,
that's
right?
true.
Like that's the problem. Like
Yep.
Gino, like in Seattle, he was gifted. Like he had some good receivers. He had
Yep.
some vet receivers too. Talking
Yep.
about DK
Lockett.
and Lockett. Yeah, that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Those two. So and then he eventually So then eventually he got last year he got the kid from the other one from Ohio State, who's now killing. So now to me, like, but here when you're looking at and with Las Vegas, he's got like an all-world tight end who's like probably the best tight end in football, and Brock Bowers already.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, and then you got like some tight ends, so you got some speed demons, but not guys who run. And you got Myers, but Jacoby Myers isn't like, you
Nah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he needs a guy. So Gino's gonna have to play a certain style. Like the thing is that they're gonna have to lean on Genty. That's the thing.
Big time.
But they're
Yeah.
not leaning on. The problem is they're not leaning on Genty.
Mm-mm.
That's the issue. And Genty also has to reduce when they lean on him.
That's
So
true.
because he has to play Pete Carroll, and I feel like I know what Pete Carroll wants. He wants to play that style where young Russ with Marshawn Lynch,
Yes.
and that's what he's trying to do. But like Genty got to get going. He got to
Yeah.
start
He gotta
dominating.
start being. He
Yeah.
gotta get man's game.
Yeah.
He gotta get on the man's game.
Yeah, once he does that, then I think you'll get a better version of Gino with this roster. Because this roster, I would say it's hard to get explosive plays because I don't feel like the wide receiver unit is like ain't special enough for him.
They definitely need to improve in that department.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know what I mean? So
yep. Well, let everybody know where they can follow you at and check out your great content, man.
Man, I appreciate you, Dujane. My name is Wole. And with the Urban Sports Scene, and you can catch us on the Urban Sports Scene at urbansportscene.com. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, which is the Urban Sports Scene. We got live shows on our YouTube channel. We have one later on tonight on HBCUs. HBCU. We have HBCU guests at 9. Who coaches at Jackson State. My man
Nice.
X, who's who is the assistant safety coach. And he'll tell us about Jackson State. And then at 8:15 we'll talk about some Baltimore Ravens because I have the great Bowie TV Baltimore Ravens beat reporter Karita Parks. She'll be joining me to talk about. We'll recap the Ravens' victory over the Cleveland Browns, and
that's my teammate. That's still my teammate. That's my quarterback.
Yeah, you already know she's cool as hell, man. She's cool as hell. We'll be on our Urban Sports YouTube channel, and also be streaming on the Bowie TV YouTube channel as well. So
awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, man. Sorry, I wish I was here 3 minutes early. Lane traffic.
Yeah, that's what it is up there, man. I'll holler at you soon.
All right, man. Stay blessed, man.
You too, brother.
All right, bro.
Well, hey, everybody. Look, it's going to be a really good season. I think we're in for great football from here on out. It just seems like there's a lot of parity in the league. Well, we are going to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have that man that is the owner and founder of Drag Race Reference, also works for Speed Sport 1, Dave. 'Cause 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 'Cause
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall continues this Wednesday, September 17th at 8 p.m. on the NHRA Fast Channels. They will have that man they call Nitro Joe Morrison, on the show. It should be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one, and hopefully you can also catch the one if you missed it. It's going to be on the NHRA Fast Channels as well. Likely it will come on before this one, so if you missed last week's one, you can catch both of them either before or probably after this one airs. So, I know I missed the last one. What's up, Dave? How's it going, buddy?
Good. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. Always happy to talk drags. Feeling a little under the weather today, but wouldn't miss it for the world. Love to go over. Man, we had an awesome start to the countdown. Sunday, didn't we?
I don't think anybody could see that one coming. That's one you write a fiction novel about. And it just so happened to come to fruition. I'll start right out the gate with Sean Reed coming off a heck of an IHRA win. Was able to get that IHRA Ironman, and first time back in the car over there in the IHRA. He comes back here on the first race of the countdown and goes all the way to the end and gets himself his first ever NHRA Wally. Absolutely incredible. And it's been a long time since someone's done an NHRA and IHRA win, back to back like that.
Yeah, it is. Monday Morning Racer was texting me because somebody had mentioned in the comments when I had posted the original post on Facebook about it, and they're like, I bet that's a first. I bet nobody's done that before. And I'm like, no, it's been done a couple times. And he messaged me because he thought it might have gone back to the 80s with like Gene Snow, Kenny Bernstein, something along those lines. And I'm like, well, at least from the top of my memory, Doug Herbert, I know, did it in 1993 because he won the IHRA Spring Nationals. Then he went to Columbus and he got his first ever NHRA win the very next weekend. And then unfortunately, June did not end well in 1993 for Doug Herbert. If you remember the next race when they went to Topeka, that's when he went over the wall. He blew the tire, hit the thing, went over the scaffold, took the scaffolding out. So I'm like, let me look. There got to be somebody, and went all the way to the end of 99 and found out Doug did it again there. And that was right in the middle of, if you remember the 1999 NHRA championship chase, you had 7 guys with the last 5. I mean, it was countdown almost, kind of like back then with how that was going. So the fact that he was in both, and he also, it was the next to last IHRA race in the season. He beat his team car, Jim Bailey, in the finals at the IHRA race and basically took him out of championship contention in Rockingham. And Jim Bailey ended up winning the finals, but didn't end up losing the championship because he was already out there. He just didn't have enough rounds left to win to get it taken care of. But yeah, it's a hell of a feat, and it's not publicly known yet, but it will be when the TV show comes out. So might as well just spill it anyway. I was one of the few people that was still remaining on Sunday from the TV crew, and they let me do top end interviews. So all the winning interviews that you'll see on the Speed Sport TV highlight shows are from yours truly. And seeing Sean Reed get out of that car and the emotion that he had when he won that race, the one thing that I saw, and even Tommy Johnson Jr. mentioned it in his commentary too, I don't know if it ever made the air or not, or just in passing conversation, you could see that there was just like a different fire in his eyes, and they had this confidence to him that went beyond just, hey, you know what? I got into an accident. I beat this thing. I got back in it. It's just the solid runs that they made just had that kind of confidence instilled in them, and it carried right over to Reading. And you could see it. I mean, they just made solid passes going down the track. And I mean, in all honesty, I picked him to win. If you look at my drag race bracket bonanza brackets, yeah, I had him picked.
Yes.
So I just figured, I just felt it. I'm like, man, this is a whole new Sean Reed. He's got a renewed confidence, and he's going to carry that momentum right into Reading. And sure enough, there he did. 4 round wins on Sunday, picks up his first ever NHRA career win, and made a solid move in the countdown. And the season's long from over.
It really is. It's wild to see this start to the season. I'll have to move. I forget I was on another, I was on Chrome, and I've got another window open. I'm trying to use the share screen here.
Yeah, it's just amazing that car went down. It went A to B, and if you look at his elimination runs, I mean, a 380 first round, 383, 383, 384, made it down the track. No, he's not out there putting 70s on the board, but he is going A to B, and he's doing what he needs to do against competitors that were faltering against him. And that's basically how they won Columbus. They did the exact same thing. He was there on the tree when he needed to be, and putting down 380 passes throughout eliminations, and got himself the
so as you can see, this is Dave W's bracket here. As you can see right there, that is the pick of Sean Reed.
And I honestly, and everything else is just a bloodbath. Everything else is all red. It is, because I mean, we had it was completely upside down, unexpected, but I knew that Reading could potentially do that, which is why I had Tony Schumacher as a runner-up, and that was a little bit of a long shot, but I went for it anyway because Tony Schumacher also made some solid A to B runs in qualifying, and that team is out, especially if they don't have a chance because they're not in the countdown. But when you line up against Tony Stewart and Clay Milton, you're almost, yes, you want to win for yourself, but you're almost playing spoiler/blocker for Clay Milton at this point, who also came in as the number 1 qualifier. But what else better way is there to play blocker than take out Tony Stewart first round of elimination? So I had him going all the way to the finals, but I missed on that one.
I mean, as you can see here for the NotBland Show League, the points have kind of gone upside down here for the countdown. Nikki is in first.
Yes.
Memphis Lonnie has found his way in second after 1 race. Dave W's third, and I'm trailing Dave as always in fourth. We've got a pretty good upside down thing here. We go to the season stats though. It is myself in fourth. Dave is still leading. Nicole is right behind Dave. I had that 1 race where I didn't submit all my picks to the league, so I screwed up. Memphis Lonnie is third right there, and I'm in fourth. And my camera guy, Fred, is in fifth for the overall season. But the countdown is here, and it has flipped on its head. So it is pretty interesting stuff there.
I smoked the tires first round of the countdown.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all. I tell you, I did not see Cruz getting this win, especially given the fact they had 4 first-round exits coming into this race. And they have been showing signs of kind of getting it together, but then it seemed like that gremlin that they thought they solved returned. But they had a hell of a show in Reading, just A to B, steady Eddie, and some really solid runs as well.
And they really did. And I mean, you hate to really say that about anybody in particular that, is out here trying to fight for this. But as everybody knows, this is the pinnacle. This is the toughest form of motorsports there is, because you get so few shots at it. The conditions are ever changing. And I mean, there's just so many moving parts and pieces and variables. And man, they hit their stride right when they needed to, and got down the track, got 4 solid runs, and the brakes went their way. I mean, you can't take, that Lady Luck has a big determining factor in who's going to end up winning this thing. But I mean, 392, okay. We saw that we thought maybe he's going to give Austin Prock a run in the second round. But Austin Prock is coming off of just win after win after win and freight training this field. And then Prock goes out there, puts a hole out. The thing gets out of shape, goes across the center line. Cruz gets it with a 421. There's your lucky break. Goes a 4 against Paul Lee, who was running 380s in the heat in qualifying, putting half a tenth on the field. Gets another one, and then steps up big and lays one down against another absolute surprise, Blake Alexander, in the finals. Goes out there and runs a 396, 330, and Cruz does what Cruz does and gets the job done.
That was a huge win right there for him, and just seemed like, the cards fell where it needed to be. Austin Prock did not lose any points for crossing the center line. He thought that he did. He did not, because that rule does not apply in the countdown for whatever reason. So
I believe they mentioned that all countdown or all potential points penalties are waived in the countdown. You still have the monetary fines that are associated with any of the things, as well as the disqualifications. You don't lose the points that you typically would associated with it, which after what we went through at Indy, to be able to crown a regular season champion is a good move, because could you imagine going to the finals and going, you know what, he could be the champ, but he might cross the center line, he might owe the track, and he could end up being negative 35 points and lose the round and give it. It makes more sense to just let him race it out that way.
Especially being that you're sticking to the countdown deal here, so you don't want anything stupid to wreck that and make it tough. John Hall's been kind of the bike that has been there. They've had some mistakes that have kind of kept them out of being in or winning final rounds or being in final rounds. So I'm not really surprised that he won. I'm just surprised that he was able to get Gage in the second round. The bike was just, after that, just on a rail. I mean, Braden Davis, we've seen this story before. I don't think anybody should be surprised at what happened there. There just really should not be. Every time he gets in that position, it seems like something like that. He doesn't finish. And Matt all of a sudden had the wherewithal to get to where he got to and was able to take out a Vincent Hines bike. Because I thought Richard would be in this final, and I had Richard picked for the final. Teammate against teammate, so to speak. But John Hall really is a bike that has to be considered now. Should have been considered, but now that he's kind of gotten over the mistake hump, he's definitely got to be a bike that's going to be considered in all of this when it comes down to the championship.
Yeah, I think so. And, it's funny. We talk about Drag Race Bracket Bonanza picks, but I also was on playing NHRA Sunday morning, dropping tons of money out there, trying to see if I could score some big on some of these long shots. And, of course, I scored big on Sean Reed, did not on Cruz, John. And Dallas Glenn wasn't a long shot, so I would have just been an even push there. But the reason that John Hall was such a long shot was because, like you mentioned, as the ladder plays out, he's up against perennial favorite Gage Herrera round 2. And most people do not have him getting past round 2 and getting around Gage Herrera. But John Hall, I don't know if you looked at the box score for this race, they could have run that bike into bracket class and put 680 on it and done the same thing. First round, 680 flat. Second round, 680 with a 6. Third round, 680 flat. Final round, 680 with a 2. I mean, a 6,000th variance on all the passes all day long. And other than Gage Herrera, John left first on his opponents. I mean, you're closing that window and you are giving them no opportunity. The only one that could have potentially drove around him / stayed in front of him, Gage Herrera, did have 13 thousandths of a second on the starting line. And if that Vance and Hines bike puts down a 670 something, he's going to the next round. But they slowed down to an 85, and John Hall, again, just 680s all day long. And Braden Davis, that's another one. He was right there with an 81, but John Hall puts an 012 light on him and walks away. Matt Smith, I don't know that I don't remember the early incremental numbers to see if he was anywhere close, but if I remember correctly, I think John was ahead by the time they even got to half track before Matt's motor, unfortunately, didn't make the rest of the run as they were trailing some pretty big smoke there. And called it a day early. But I mean, when it's your day, it's your day. And after going so long between wins from the U.S. Nationals to winning earlier this year and now getting another win and being in countdown contention, I mean, the Pro Stock motorcycle points, you want to talk about your Drag Race Bracket Bonanza League points being upside down. Did you take a look at the points there, the top four, and how close everybody is?
It's insane.
It is a race.
It is insane. They were at the 660 mark. John Hall was 4.363, and Matt was 4.361.
So they were right there, but Hall had a 19 thousandths hole shot on him.
060 to an 050.
He was still, so he was still ahead a little bit. And, is that top end charge from Matt going to come on? I mean, we saw it in the earlier rounds, but that motor it wasn't happy in the semis, and it finally finished itself off in the finals. So hopefully they got it just as good of a spare bullet to run, because you got to consider too, all these people that have had troubles, Matt Hagan and their bomb, Doug Glett and Tony Stewart and their issues. We're not only starting the countdown, but we're starting a 3-week in a row stretch. We're going straight to Charlotte, and then we're going straight to St. Louis. So now is not a time to have problems. Yeah,
this is not the time to have any type of issues here. It tightened up the points. Big time tighten up the points there in the top four with the championship points there. And again, we'll get there, but this race, I have a strategy, and that would be my strategy. Of course, you want to win, but there's got to be, you got to at least put yourself in position to where you're not going to lose too much ground here. It's a pretty decent gap here with the points in Pro Stock. Really didn't see Dallas Glenn winning. I thought this would be Greg Anderson's deal to win, but here we are. He needed to start off the countdown in this way. Hopefully he can continue to carry that momentum and finish. But big win for him in this now quest to make sure that he closes the deal, at the end of this season to get this championship.
I mean, I think this weekend in general is got to be a big morale booster for him to start out the countdown. First of all, to end the U.S. Nationals and get that regular season championship when they basically went in practically tied. And it was just whoever's going to go further on race day, and they ended up pulling that off. Now they come in here, qualifies number one, seemingly is going to be, on a path to another potential win, but that was going to be a huge matchup in the semifinals between the two of them. If Greg didn't make that mistake and go over the starting line a second time on that burnout after making a mistake on the first one and having the first one mess up, that was, to be honest with you, 1 and 2 of the points, when those two lined up, I'm like, man, this got good potential to be a race of the day here. And I mean, Dallas, you want to call it a lucky break, whatever you want to call it, because you never know how it would have turned out if they both staged together and turned on the green light. That was a big win for him. And then to go out there and get the win, and like you say, start stretching that lead, because you never know when you may need that as we get later on in the year. Not that 1 round or 2 rounds, because Greg making it to the semis isn't giving you that much of a, you're not really having a bad race, so to speak, but you got to take it where you can get it, because I got a feeling they're going to be there late on race day the next 5 too.
And like we said with Sean puts himself in 6th place there. Really, he's tied for 6th. He's really tied for 5th, to be honest. I don't know how they come up with the not being tied deal and just putting them in 6th, but he's really tied for 5th with Clay Milligan, 21-18, 67 points back out of 1st. When we look at this whole thing, and I start with Top Fuel, the top guys with Doug and Tony are shaky right now. Tony's going to have to bring out a new car. How is that going to respond? Can they continue the consistency that they had? Because I'm not sure if there was any damage to the chassis or not. I would assume that there is something they'd have to fix.
I mean, the thing rolled away and they towed it back to the pits. It was rolling on all fours, which is just an amazing feat in of itself. I don't think they actually hit tires. What it was, if you actually watch the super slow-mo, the right side headers are what hit Doug's, and you can actually Doug's left rear tire, and you can see the motor actually pivot in the chassis. And that's my curiosity: was it going to launch the motor out of it? But the motor getting pivoted is what launched the whole car up to its side. And miraculously, again, the parachutes were out. The aerodynamics did what they did. The body panels in the center blew out, and the thing landed on all fours, but it still hit the wall. And the fact that it hit the wall with the rear tire first and then kind of like came around and hit the front and kind of was bouncing off of it, you got to feel that something's tweaked or bent or twisted there in one way, shape, or another. So I doubt that they trust that car. And again, even if they want to run that car later in the year, I would assume it's going to at least need to be front half, if not more. Don't know. Haven't seen any updated reports from the team. That's purely speculation on my part. But like you said, they had such a strong season going. They had the setup for that car, and having to change anything after the first race of the countdown is got to be completely just a big unknown. But look at how it worked for Doug Coletta.
That's true.
In his
they must have just completely just got rid of the canopy car, because I thought when that car got messed up that they would break that was the backup. But I guess they don't have it anymore. I guess they were like, nah, this ain't working out for us. We're gonna just go on and move this one on down the road. We'll stick with Old Faithful. It's going to be an interesting deal. And looking ahead to what is the first race ever to be a 4-wide in the countdown. My strategy is this. I need to at least be in the final quad, at the very least the semifinal, but I need to be in the final quad. Doesn't matter if I win or not. I need to be there in order to keep pace with the guys up front. Now, hopefully this could work out to where the top guys in the top 3 or 4 are out of here. At least 2 of the top, top side of the ladder there could be gone. Now, I haven't really taken out. I will get over there and do that, but I haven't taken a look at how many cars are actually going to be there. But I think that has to be the strategy going into this. You cannot afford to go out first round. Maybe you can at the top, but this is a tight points race. This would turn things around really quickly if you saw a Doug Coletta, a Tony Stewart, a Sean Langdon, a Justin Ashley go out in the first round. Could you imagine if those 4 end up in the quad together?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have. Yeah, I mean, in the final round, like you say, that's from first to last in the final round is a 40-point swing. So it's amazing. And when people reference the 4-wide being a wild card race, I don't think they really dive too deep into what makes it such a wild card. And to me, it's not the fact that you've got, the staging procedure and I'm looking at the wrong part of the tree and that throws my game off. And to me, it's the format. To me, you can have a regular 16-car side-by-side paired up field, and you hear it all the time. Man, that was a beautiful race. The guy that lost that race would have beat every other winner in this race, but he just happened to be up against that guy. Well, now you've expanded that to 4. So you got championship contenders that maybe qualify 4th, 5th, 12th, and 13th. That would be 2 individual pairs. And you're the number 5 guy, and the 12th place guy goes up in smoke. You go up in smoke. You could pedal it and beat him. Now, there's a chance that if you both go up in smoke, you're out. And you're 5th and 12th qualifiers, and you're gone first round just because the double elimination format on it. And it gives people who potentially had no chance a reprieve to pedal it, and you just got to beat the 2 other guys. You don't have to be the first one. You just got to be the second one across the line. And that's really the big wild card to me is guys or girls that could be completely eliminated now have a chance of going further than they potentially should have. And then when you get to the pro stock motorcycle, pro mod side of things, we start looking at double and triple hole shots coming into play. And it's going to be a wild race, and qualifying here is going to be huge because, like you said, you don't want to end up you and your three closest guys in points in the same quad, and then Doug Coletta in a completely different quad. He goes on, and his two closest pursuers are out. I mean, the way that the ladder shakes out, everything about this weekend, on top of qualifying points, position points, and your standings in the ladder, like everything matters from here on out. Everything matters, and it's going to be awesome.
Going to be awesome. And Blake, doing great, man. Doing great. Anytime we get to do this, man, it's a good day. It's a good day. That's what I'm looking forward to. So you got 14 top fuelers. So you're going to have a short quad. You likely want to be in that short quad because guess what? 1-2 get to advance, and there's only 1-2 in that quad. So
don't be the third.
If I'm somebody that is in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, I try to qualify at the bottom. Qualify the bottom, get me in that quad with 2. That way I know I'm guaranteed semifinal. Right. I know I'm guaranteed semifinal. Then I can go after it. It sounds like a crazy strategy, but at the end of the day, like what exactly, if you are, let's look at the standings again. If you are in the top, you are in the bottom half of the field. If you're Brittany, Steve, Antron, who this man went rock bottom. He went rock bottom. Antron was like 5. That man is 9th. He's been doing nothing but free falling for a while now.
He has not had a good run of it lately. That is somebody that definitely needs a get healthy weekend.
Yes. I'd shoot for the bottom. I mean, you look at Funny Car, for instance. So Wilk, Alexis, Spencer, JR, even Cruz. Hey, I'm just trying to put together something, and I understand qualifying points matter. So it'd be kind of crazy to kind of give up those points. You have the ability to run a nice low number and be a part of the 3. I believe it's the 3 that get those qualifying points. But if you can't run a big number, and the cool part in the hero, in our hero session, I'd shoot for trying to get into that quad with only 2, because I know I'm guaranteed semifinal round.
Well, now you got me curious. I wonder how they do
top fuel. With top fuel,
how they do a 14-car full wide race. I'd have to look through the history to see, because I know you look back at Vegas last year, we had 15. So number 1, 8, and 9, and there's no 16. So and that was Doug Coletta, Steve Torrance, and Sean Langdon, and that was a quad. One of those 3 are going home. You know what I mean? Like this is a very real possibility, because you're number 1 and then 8 and 9. So you got number 1 qualifier and the 2 middle of the field guys. And there are so many competitive cars that are out there now. It doesn't matter where you're at. But I'm curious. Now I'm going to have to research it, because I don't know how, if you would have 2 first-round buys if you had a 14-car field, or they start scrambling.
Yeah, because you got 16 in Funny Car. You got 17 in Pro Stock Motorcycle, because somebody's going home in Pro Stock Motorcycle.
In those categories.
So that's going to that's interesting. We haven't seen really a full field of bikes in quite some time. Still don't have the full cars for top fuel. That's going to be interesting. That's the only class where you could try to put yourself in a quad that may only have 2 people. I don't know how they would go about, like putting those together number wise, but I try to, whatever those numbers are, find out, and I try to be the one that was in the 2.
It sounds silly, but you got to come up with any event. And if you're only at race 2 of the countdown, so if it backfires on you, you still at least got more to catch up with it. But you got to try something. You definitely got to try something,
especially if you're back of the field in top fuel. Like, I mean, it's a little bit better. It's a little tighter in Funny Car, actually. If you're Steve, you're Antron, you're Josh Hart, you're looking to be a part of one of those. You're looking to be a part of that field right there, because you can get there. And all 3 of those cars are capable of running. So it's not like you don't have data on this thing. It's not that hard. And then in that quad, you can go for lane choice. You can try to go for lane choice in that quad if you need to, but at least you get an opportunity to test the track if you want and see how much it holds. If you're not really concerned about lane choice, because no one else is going to be able to do that, but those two. So it doesn't matter if they go up in smoke, at 60 feet. So I'm really interested to find out and see how they're going to, play that out there. But it's definitely going to, that freebie is going to be a spot where I'm just interested if anybody's going to play that game, because I think it can help you in the long run. And like I said, it would be quite wild to see those top four end up in a quad together somehow. That would be a blessing for those 5, 6, 7, and 8 for sure. Those guys are like, yes, please, let's make that happen.
Yeah, what can we do to make this happen?
Oh, man.
You really got me curious. I'm scrambling now to see if I can find one. Okay, here we go. 14-car alcohol field at the full wide. And I figured you got to go to the alcohol funny car class to find something like this. So now I'm going back to 2021 at the 4-wide nationals. I hope they were still running 4-wide at that point, because I want to see how this plays out. I remember that, I think it was earlier this year when we were at Charlotte or Vegas, or probably Charlotte, there was only like 10 or 11 alcohol funny cars. So there was a lot of solos and like side-by-side runs. Yeah. The way that the ladder stacked up didn't really match up with what you would think that it would. So now you've really got me curious to take a look at this and see how this plays out.
Yeah. And like I said, key is it doesn't matter if you win this thing, but if you can get runner-up points and be in that final quad, that's going to be important in playing a role in keeping you towards the top of that standings. And I'm interested to see who all gets in that. I do think we have another time where there's going to be some type of an upset. There's going to be an upset pick within that quad, maybe even two. Because right now, what we got at Reading, anything is possible at this point. This is not the standard type of countdown where you can just go into it and you think that the guys who've been the top guys have been owning the field are likely going to own the field in this one. And look, if you haven't figured out the staging procedure by now, that's on you, man. Like that, you either are just not going to ever get it, or you're dyslexic. One of the two. Like, you've done this enough now. I don't want to hear about the starting procedure being an issue. Get your car in and do what you got to do. You got 7 seconds. You got 7 seconds. And no, if you take longer than that, you will get timed out. And it's going to time out quick.
That's right.
So make it happen. There's no reason why we should hear anything like that. But I do think we're going to have some pissed off people. Whoever goes out first round is not going to be happy at all. That is going to be a hot mic. You can bet on it.
No, I did confirm. I looked at the alcohol funny car ladder from 2021. It would be 2 first-round buys. Whoever number 15 and 16 qualifier would have been will be blank. So you want to qualify 1st, 8th, and 9th, or 2nd, 7th, and 10th, because those would be your 2 buy runs should we stick with the 14 cars in Top Fuel, and that's all that shows up. So those are going to be some prime places to be in real estate, and that's almost a shame, because you don't want to be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, in any of the other spots, because you're going to have to run somebody. So you want, now it's like, well, being in the middle of the field isn't too bad of a place to be right now, because now I only got to beat one other guy. So
exactly. Yep. That's going to be good, man. I'm really, really interested in seeing how that all plays out. Before we get out of here, though, before we get to our picks, I want to touch this tethering thing. This is not the first time that Matt has expressed his feelings on the tethering. We've talked about it. There's been a lot of media people that have talked about it. Look, at some point, you have to stop turning a blind eye. And I would have thought that you had like drag racing's Jesus go and have that accident and have a brain injury, and we would have fixed that problem right then. But no, we continue to go full steam ahead, all systems go, hyper warp speed, and continue to do this thing, and we continue to see and have drivers complain about the fact that this thing blows up, it prevents me from pulling the brake, it crashes down on my hands, it's preventing me from driving the race car, I can't see. Look, I understand half of these people haven't been through it before, but you're putting people's lives at risk at this point. And it should not have gotten to this point. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very aware of fan safety, but at the same time, like I said before, I remember the ticket on the back reading that was a waiver. You were there and you're in the stands at your own risk. You're at a race track that cars make 12,000 horsepower. This is not watching your Cleveland Browns or whatever team you are. This is high-powered machines that can go off like a bomb in front of you and spew parts into the stands. Head on a swivel, eyes on the action.
I mean, it's true. And he's been very outspoken about it. And it's funny because when he first got a microphone stuck in his face right after the round, I mean, he was just heated about it. He got an interview in the pits. I don't know if you saw Mighty Mac posted. He had an interview with him at the same time that Doug Coletta and Tony Stewart had their accident on track at round 2. He's talking to Matt in the pits, and Matt's still very spirited. And then Matt even took it upon himself to release his own personal video after the event to kind of just clarify and, emotions get out there and stuff's out there. But I mean, he's not wrong. He chooses to strap into this thing. It's amazing how many people say their hands got hit or hurt because they've got that shield around there that's supposed to protect them from everything, and stuff's still getting in there and hitting them. That's supposed to be kind of like the bomb shield.
Exactly.
But the big concern too, like in Buddy Hull's situation, I think Wilkerson had the same situation. When these things split the body, the parachute, and John Force's too, the parachutes aren't coming out.
No.
And that's especially in Buddy Hull's case, because he's like, I couldn't reach for the brake. I couldn't nothing. The parachutes weren't out slowing the thing down. He couldn't. He's just like a ride. And I would have thought that the automatic shut that the crew chiefs get at the starting line. What about the RFID transmitters that they pass at the 1,320 foot mark or 1,400 foot mark, that if your parachutes ain't out by now, they get auto deployed and it auto shuts it. All the Leahy device systems. Why are these not working like they should either? And that's, to me, there's multiple things that are going on that are of concern. The body staying attached when it splits in the middle is one of them for sure. And then secondly, why are the mandated safety shutoff devices not working like they should either? So those are my two big questions. And it was interesting, if you saw, I think it was in Mighty Mac's video, he had mentioned they came up with an idea. They came up with a solution, a potential burst panel type situation, something to relieve the pressure. Submitted it to the NHRA, and it got vetoed. And he's like, I mean, I don't know what else we could do. We're trying to offer solutions here other than just running tethers through these things and turning them into rolling caskets, because eventually that's what it's going to be.
Exactly. And look. At some point, you simple suckers need to realize that you don't have the answers. It's obvious you don't. You can't even do the simple things right when it comes down to your so-called tech. So we're not going to listen to the drivers. We're not going to listen to the crew chiefs and the people who know about these cars. We're just going to arbitrarily deny stuff because we think we know everything. And you're not the one that's strapped in the car. That's asinine. And how arrogant to let our ego get in the way of safety. Because that's what I think it is. These guys have done, because we talked to Wilk on the Power Hour about some of the solutions they were trying to come up with. And the fact that you're not going to allow that to happen, to try it, is ridiculous. I mean, we've got to do something. We're gonna not do something, and we're not going to do it until it has to be done when somebody's critically injured or dead. That's ridiculous. That we shouldn't have to wait till that happens. We've seen enough already. We have enough evidence and enough data to prove that this ain't it. And I get it. I understand. Don't want fans to get hurt. But at the same time, maybe you change where you have your fans sitting. and have them standing. And on top of that, like I said, you're at a racetrack. This isn't social hour. This isn't happy hour at your local pub. This is watching 12,000 horsepower bombs. You need to have your head on the swivel and pay attention to what's going on the racetrack. It's just that plain and simple. Because you know what? When the bodies came off of the things, they very rarely went into the stands. We had a few. It's not that we have like triple, double digits of this. We've had a few. And at the end of the day, the parachutes came out and nobody's driving blind at 280 plus miles an hour, sometimes 300. That's a joke. There's no way that should be happening. So something's got to be done. And I don't know, I don't know what or who can fix the issue, because the people who need to be a part of fixing it are not listening. And when you're not listening, you're denying things. To me, it means you don't care. Product over everything, I guess, huh?
Well, hard to say, but since you brought up tech, you suppose Doug Coletta's car passed the post-race scales in round 2? Or should he have been disqualified?
Ain't no way it passed.
So, we got safety rules and we throw out race-winning runs because of a couple of bolts that were missing, but we destroy entire race cars and blow bodies off of things and see you next round, bring out another one.
Amateur night at the Apollo is what I call it.
And it's not to make light of Doug's incident at all and say that he should have, insult to injury, but I'm just saying, when you are saying something's in the interest of safety, or rules are rules, or tech is tech, how do you stand behind that? How do you not just go, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, you're out, not go get another car, we'll see you next round. You could have had, whatever legal pieces you want on that thing, because you only had to beat him to the finish line, and then whatever happened after that was going to happen.
Yeah, and you're right. I agree with you. I've said that all the time. You are, regardless of where you are, you're there at your own risk. It's bottom line. What happens when someone gets pelted with a valve as something breaks loose on a warm up while people are standing right behind the headers while they're warming this thing up? It's gonna come shooting right out, hit somebody right in the chest or the head. Right. We ain't saying nothing about that. We don't have no protection for that, but we're worried about bodies going into the stands because we haven't had that happen yet. We haven't had a motor go pop in a warm up yet. Like, come on, man.
Well, we have, just not on the nitro side of things. But, right. I mean, we were Joliet 2019. Antron Brown blew one up big time in the second round or semis or whatever it was. And piece of shrapnel from the intake manifold landed, God, we were probably 35 rows up in the stands. Ting! What was that? Oh, it picked up, had a little souvenir. Took it back to the pits thinking, hey, look at this. We were 35 rows up. The guy 2 spots in front of us had the whole barrel valve and fuel lines and everything. He was standing by the fence. He got hit by the and I'm like, all right. So, yeah, does stuff make it further than it should? Yeah, 100%. But you don't have to, if it's nitro safety related, we can limit restricted top end and grandstand access or standing next to the track for those 2 classes only. You want to stand there for everything else? That's fine. When nitro cars are running, here's where you can go. And it's only for 2 categories, the whole thing. Like, that's the only place you need to limit it. But if it makes it safer for when the bomb goes off, I mean, believe me, when these guys are starting these things in the pits and some of them sound a little raggedy when they don't fire just right on the gasoline, I'm not standing there watching to see what happens.
Hell no.
Get down going, they didn't get things started yet? Like, that scares the hell out of me. I don't want to be right next to them. Because there's just it doesn't take much to turn one of these things into a really bad situation.
And I applaud Tony Stewart's dad. I was at Gainesville when Tony was running Top Alcohol Dragster, and the fans were standing there on the warm up, and Tony Stewart's dad was like, hey, don't stand right in the direction of the pipes. He said, what if this thing breaks a valve? It's going to come right out. It's going to pelt you right in the head. So, kind of move off to the side a little bit. Nobody cares if you're standing here. Just don't stand in the direction of the pipes. And I thought that was admirable of him to do that, because it is possible. I mean, it's possible with the nitro cars. It's just, what we choose to be selective safety about is ridiculous to me. Blake, I didn't feel like it was sad news. I kind of knew this was coming. I just didn't know when. And I'm happy for her. You know, she has nothing else left to prove, to be honest. She's a 2-time champion. She's the queen of speed. She owns just about every darn speed record. What else you got to do? I mean, you don't have to win another championship. I'm sure she wants to. She'd love to close this season out and be champion. But at the end of the day, you've done a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't say they've done, and that's be a 2-time champion. So, you know, nobody can say they went 343 miles an hour either. And nobody can say they went 340 miles an hour 100 times over. Right. Exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. So I don't feel like it's a sad news. You know, it's time she wants to move on, and I don't have any qualms or negative feelings about it. I'm happy that she's able to go out on her terms the way she wants to. She didn't close the door, but I kind of got that feeling that once you get in that family and mom mode, just like Courtney, you've accomplished all you needed to accomplish. I don't know if she comes back. I really don't.
No, and that's the hard part too, is because if they really wanted to, I'm sure Ashley and Courtney would have been back in a car by now too.
Yep.
And neither one of them did. And the reality of it is it's never been officially confirmed, but John Force is never climbing back in one of these things.
Yeah, I don't see it
happening. So the fact that he only had daughters, the Force era of NHRA championship drag racing is coming to a close.
Yeah.
And that's it's something to be celebrated. It really is. I mean, at least as a driver, of course, they're going to be out there as a team owner. They're still going to have cars out there, but the man had a legendary career. I'm glad they ran the brute force tribute scheme to him earlier.
Yeah, right.
It'd be kind of cool if before the end of the year they end up with some kind of a tribute scheme to Brittany, whether it be back to her Rookie of the Year Castrol scheme or something along those lines, or even an Advanced Auto Parts Championship scheme, something.
Yeah.
Something kind of like a cool throwback. Very unlikely because there's so few races left in the year. Probably would have had to been in the works already, but I mean, she went out on her own terms, and you don't realize it, but man, she's been out here since 2013 was her rookie year in Top Fuel. But don't forget, she raced an alcohol dragster and super count before that, and basically grew up at the track. So it's not like she's new to this. It's just closing that chapter in her life.
Yeah, she was one of my first interviews. Was with her at Gainesville. It was like nighttime there, and she took the time to talk about her move into Top Fuel, and it's pretty cool. I've had the opportunity to have her on after winning a championship. That was cool as well. It's an end of an era, and I agree. I don't see John coming back. Not with the way you're talking about brain injuries, and we even talk about that with football. The amount of you go through a lot as a football player, but the amount of shake to the brain that happens during tire shake, I don't think he can afford to have that happen at all. So no, I don't see him. I wish he would have been able to go out on his own terms the way he would have liked, but he's had an illustrious career. He is and still is the face of NHRA drag racing, and it's unfortunate, but hey, sometimes that's what happens in life.
And that was something that even Matt Hagan referenced when he was talking about these body tethers and explosions and everything. He's like, we'd probably still have the greatest out here still racing with us if we didn't have that type of situation. Of course, everything at the end of the day is always all speculation. You never know how anything is going to turn out any way, shape, or form. But you don't always get the storybook ending. Let's put it that way. Dale Earnhardt didn't get the storybook ending either.
Nope.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't get the storybook ending of getting to run his Cup career with his dad. I mean, there's so many Davey Allison. There's so many people's career, Blaine Johnson, Blaine and Allen. I mean, all those championships that Allen won after the fact. I mean, there's so many what ifs in this sport, but we live in the real world, and don't always play out the way you think.
We're going to go. That is not the music I wanted. Let's switch. We're going to go with our picks for the championship version of the 4-wide in Charlotte. Top Fuel, it's a toss-up. I'm going to go with another upset, and I'm going to say that somehow, some way, Clay Milligan finds himself in the final and gets the W. Maybe Sean Reed comes in second. What say you?
This fall Charlotte race has always been kind of a game changer in the Top Fuel category. We've seen a lot of upsets here, and the fact that it's 4-wide now is another game changer. But you know what? I'm going to lean towards somebody who has really embraced the 4-wide, loves the challenge, loves to tackle it head on, and ended up winning his first national events in that situation. I think Tony Stewart's going to bounce back from that terrible, terrible accident. And I think you're going to see Tony Stewart get back his points lead and another race win.
That would be something. Funny Car. Austin Prock has been the ownership of Funny Car. He's been the bar, so to speak. I don't know how this is going to all play out. Something tells me that the next person in line is Matt Hagan. I think Matt Hagan comes in here, gets a W. Proc may be involved in the final quad, but I think it'll be Matt Hagan's day.
It's my mistake for not looking at the weather to see how this is going to play out beforehand, to know what kind of conditions we're going to be.
Let's see.
But as much of a long shot as it sounds, I would not put it against Cruz Pedregon from going back to back because they have stunned people at the fall Charlotte race before and gone rounds. And if we got the same kind of conditions and the same kind of race that we had right here at Reading, and the momentum is on Cruz's side, you know what? It sounds outlandish, but the odds makers may that could be a big bet that could pay off real big for somebody. But I'll stick my head out there and say Cruz Pedregon goes back to back and makes a serious move in this point.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get the weather up for that. I wouldn't put it past them. I think they have done some things over there that I don't think has hit everybody's radar, and the moves that they have made over over this last stint of the regular season, it's kind of understated a little bit because it didn't perform on the racetrack. So I wouldn't be surprised if it would be them. We look at the pro stock deal. Look, man, this is weird. We've got Erica at 8 here. I think with everything going on and the way those two have been dominant and they've been trading back and forth, I think you find Greg Anderson somehow steps up and gets this win here. I think Dallas has kind of been the guy with the 4-wide, though. My long shot is probably Erica Enders, but I'm going to go with Dallas Glenn getting another one and trying to put a gap on the field.
I got to echo those statements, but for everyone that we've listed, you're going to have normally what would be an epic battle of semifinalists come down to, I think you're going to have Aaron and Erica and Greg and Dallas be your final 4. And like you said, Dallas Glenn, man, he loves these 4-wide deals. And I feel like he's going to go back-to-back and really assert himself with the momentum to start this countdown. So I'm in agreement with you there. I think Dallas Glenn takes pro stock.
I think this is another one where we have another new winner. John Hall, obviously, done great. I think at some point, Matt finds a way to get a win here. I think the 4-wide kind of plays into his hands a little bit with the way he likes to race. And I think this will be a time where he was close last week and he'll finish the job here in Charlotte in his backyard.
I hope he's got a good backup motor after toasting that one that he did in Reading.
Yeah.
And I know he has no problem working that tree and those stage lights to play the starting line games to get him some rounds. But I think that you're going to get another new winner, but it's going to be from the Vance and Hines camp, and it's not going to be Gage, and it's not going to be Richard. But I think Braden Davis I think this is his time to shine. I believe he's in it from what they've said for the long haul. He's got some support to get himself through this countdown. And you know what? You just got to be there on the tree and let the cards fall as they may. It's going to be an interesting Final Four or quad, if you want to call it, the way that plays out. But I'd look for Braden Davis to hoist the Wally. And the problem is he's kind of far back there, and you know that Matt Smith and Gage and Richard are going to go around. So I think he might be an outside championship contender, but he's going to get a Wally.
Yeah, that would be pretty darn cool if he could do that. So your weather on Friday, 89 and 62. Saturday, 88 and 63. And then Sunday, 84 and 62.
Oh, yeah, my picks are solid. I'm good. We got the heat. We're good.
Mostly sunny on both Friday and Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday as of now. So should be
Friday
good.
night qualifying is going to set the field, but come race day Sunday, man, don't be surprised to see some of them upsets.
Yeah, and Shane, I agree. I do want to see her win one as well. They've done such a good job with that cards they were dealt, and they just seem to be improving. It seems like they get close. And I think a little bit is going to hinge on her being more consistent on the tree as a driver, especially with those of you're going to end up meeting at some point in the final in the top of those points. So that's really what it's going to hinge on. But the car has continued to run very consistent and very good for what they have been able to put together here through this season. Justin versus it could be.
That'd be good. I'm going to ask you one last question, too, before we get out of here. I know we're only one race in, but looking at how that played out, where would your do or done line be on this field right now?
Ooh. Do or done? Are you talking about Top Fuel?
We'll just quickly scan through all of them. How far away can you be in points after the first race and still think that you legitimately got a shot at this deal?
I think – I'm gonna say it's Sean Reed is between Sean Reed and Brittany Force is the done line, and here's my thought. Brittany hasn't been consistent enough on race day to warrant it being pushed back any further. Steve Torrance has shown flashes of greatness, but has not put it all together, and we know what 9 and 10 has done. Absolutely nothing towards the end of the season. So that's where I would put my do or done line right now for Top Fuel. You look at Funny Car. Man,
that area, same window.
It's got to be the same window because JR's been Jekyll and Hyde, and
that
not
first round loss hurt.
Yeah, he's
not
just
to
been Jekyll and Hyde.
Did you ever find out what JR's tweet was about?
No, I had no idea what that was about. I think it. Well, from what I saw, what I heard of others, that it was something that they had. That's I don't know who said it, but it really wasn't bad. He just took it personal.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Pro stock, do or done. It's right after 2. It's right after 2. Yeah.
After the first race.
You got to show me something, bro. I don't see 3 through 10 have not proven to me that they can consistently, and that includes Erica, because I think if anybody had an opportunity to really make this thing very interesting and come from the bottom to the top, it would be them. But there's no way that Greg and Dallas are going out first round for the next 2 races. Like, they're going to be in it. You're not going to have enough time to catch up. I mean, it's right there at 2. Sorry, guys, but that's just how it is. Sorry. Pro Stock Motorcycle, it's at 4. It's between 4. Richard and Angie. Angie just not consistent enough, and everybody below her hasn't been consistent enough.
Nope. So those guys all got to step up big this weekend. And the big caveat for me, I think, is the session points. Mm-hmm. I think that, Brittany Force used to be the one to rely on those. When we broke down Top Fuel last year, she had the most by far and made up a lot, and they're not consistent in qualifying this year. Nope. Doug Coletta, that's been his saving grace. Yeah. Austin Proc's going to keep putting down qualifying points. Dallas Glenn's going to be the top 3 of every session. He's going to keep adding to his total. Yeah. And Matt Smith, Gage Herrera, Richard Gatt. I mean, they're all pretty much going to keep trading them back and forth amongst each other. So the gap is going to grow exponentially throughout all the qualifying sessions too. So I think you're spot on with where you fall in there. I mean, I'd almost say, I don't even know if it's in the do or done line. I almost want to say pretty much 7th on back in pro stock is, I mean, you're already 140 points back after one race.
It's a wrap.
Dallas, the KB train, they're just going to have to completely derail, and they're going to have to be out first round for anybody to have a chance. I think they're already done. Like, not even due. Like, you're out.
An absolute wrap. So, very interesting stuff. It's going to be a fun weekend. I will be in Knoxville, Tennessee for the Southeast Gases Association. This will be their third to last race here of the season, and man, I'm gonna be looking forward to it. So I will likely be listening to it on the way back from Knoxville on Sunday. So it should be fun. I'm really looking forward to see how all this plays out. And man, it's gonna be fun for everybody. I think this is gonna be one that we're gonna see some pissed off people at the end of the day.
Emotions are flowing.
Yes, that are going to be mad about this countdown being in the playoffs once they go out first round. So, but hey, man, that's what makes playoff racing and playoff sports what it is today. So we have gone 30 minutes over, but we had some great conversation. I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We'll also want to continue to thank Drag Race Bracket Bonanza for their support, and of course our affiliate VTRN Sports over there at Lynchburg, Virginia. Like I said, you can catch their stuff. Fast Lane with Ed Lane talks a lot about drag race, a lot about NASCAR. If you're into college football, he talks a lot about that. And we also have the morning warm-up there with Trey Lyle. Also, great shows there. And if you want to listen to our audio version of this show, you can find that on the VTRN Sports Network. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. It's been real, but I got to go get this voice rested a little bit, and I will see you guys over at the Power Hour. Again, thank you so much, and we are out.